Breaking news, Prince William has just delivered what senior insiders are calling the most devastating royal rebuke in modern British history. What was said behind closed doors inside Buckingham Palace has triggered panic across the Labour Party, with senior MPs now quietly discussing an emergency leadership challenge. According to palace sources, the language used by the Prince of Wales was so severe and so unprecedented that three staff members reportedly left the room in shock. The meeting, originally scheduled to last just 20 minutes, stretched to 47, nearly triple the allotted time. Witnesses describe Prince William's demeanor as controlled fury, something not seen from a senior royal in generations. What unfolded in the 72 hours that followed may ultimately tear the government apart. Sources inside Kensington Palace confirmed that Prince William personally ordered the official meeting minutes sealed for 50 years, an extreme measure that requires formal written justification to the king himself. If you want to understand how this constitutional earthquake ends, hit that subscribe button now, because what comes next is extraordinary. Here's how the crisis began. At exactly 2:47 p.m. last Tuesday, Keir Starmer arrived at Buckingham Palace for what was supposed to be a routine briefing with Prince William. His motorcade passed through the gates as cameras captured him walking confidently toward the entrance, exchanging polite smiles with palace guards. What was expected to be a cordial diplomatic exchange quickly turned into something far darker. The spark was a leaked internal memo from the Department for Levelling Up, Housing and Communities that had landed on Prince William's desk the previous Friday. The document detailed plans to fast-track development projects across 12 targeted regions in England, Scotland, and Wales. But it wasn't the developments themselves that alarmed the prince. It was the demographic analysis attached to each site. Communities with high numbers of military veterans, areas dominated by pensioners on fixed incomes, and neighborhoods that had voted overwhelmingly conservative in the last three elections. The pattern was impossible to ignore. Inside the meeting, Starmer's tone reportedly turned blunt, even confrontational. According to two independent sources present in the room, he demanded that the royal family stop what he described as interfering in government housing policy, specifically referencing Prince William's public speeches about preserving local communities and his charitable work supporting veterans. Then came the sentence that changed everything. "The monarchy needs to remember its place in modern Britain," Starmer allegedly said. "You advise, we decide. Your grandfather understood that. Your father understands that. Perhaps you need to learn it too." One palace aide later described the moment as watching storm clouds gather before a lightning strike. Prince William did not smile. He did not deflect. He did not offer diplomatic platitudes. Instead, he stood up, walked to within 3 feet of the Prime Minister, and delivered a response so forceful that aides later described Starmer as visibly shaken. "You lecture us about remembering our place," William said, his voice calm but ice cold, "while British families who served this nation for generations are sleeping in their cars because your government sold their communities to foreign developers." Witnesses say the room went completely silent. William continued without raising his voice, every word carrying the weight of history. "My grandmother spent 70 years earning the trust of the British people. My father has dedicated his life to protecting this country's heritage, and you, Prime Minister, have spent 18 months destroying both." Then he did something even more shocking. Prince William picked up the leaked housing memo and read directly from it. "Strategic demographic realignment, target zones, accelerated displacement protocols. These are your word," he said, "not mine. You are not building Britain up. You are tearing British communities apart, deliberately." Starmer attempted to respond, mumbling something about economic necessity and housing shortages. Prince William simply nodded toward the door. "I believe we are finished here," he said. "And Prime Minister, when you leave this palace, remember that you serve all British people, not just the ones who voted for you." The meeting was over. Starmer had been dismissed not by a political rival, but by the future King of England. From that moment on, nothing was the same. Across Britain, working-class families who had lived in their communities for generations were already paying the price. In Cornwall, 71-year-old widow Patricia Davis watched bulldozers destroy the home where she raised 4 children. Her husband died defending Britain in the Falklands. Her son served 2 tours in Afghanistan. Under Labour's housing policy, she was given 30 days to leave before developers flattened the area for luxury apartments, priced at over £800,000. "We gave everything to this country," she said through tears in a video viewed more than 4.2 million times, "and they threw us away like rubbish." From Durham to Devon, entire communities were vanishing. In Newcastle, retired firefighter Thomas Mackenzie received an eviction notice for the terraced house his grandfather built in 1947. In Birmingham, 67-year-old nurse Margaret Ellis, who worked through the pandemic, was informed that her council flat had been sold to private developers. "I clapped for the NHS," she said bitterly. "Now they're making me homeless." Meanwhile, cabinet ministers enjoyed subsidized Westminster apartments worth millions, completely insulated from the displacement ordinary Britons faced. Even lifelong Labour voters began turning away.
Before the election,
Former Durham miner James Wallace, a Labour voter for 53 consecutive years, burned his party membership card on camera. "This isn't Labour anymore," he said. "This is something else." Then came the moment no one expected. At the Commonwealth Remembrance Service last Thursday, King Charles quietly broke 7 decades of royal protocol. He positioned Prince William directly between himself and the podium, where the Prime Minister was scheduled to speak. The message was unmistakable. As Starmer approached, he was forced to walk past both the King and the Prince of Wales. William did not nod. He did not make eye contact. Cameras captured every second. Body language experts later described the moment as a public diplomatic freeze-out. During his speech, Starmer stumbled repeatedly, uncharacteristic for a trained barrister. His hands visibly trembled. When the ceremony ended, both Charles and William exited through a side door, deliberately avoiding the Prime Minister. Within 48 hours, the consequences exploded. The pound dropped 1.3%. £2.7 billion was wiped off the FTSE 100. Starmer's survival odds collapsed in betting markets. Inside Labour, emergency calls turned into open plotting. Leaked messages revealed MPs discussing leadership replacement, not defense. Hashtags defending Prince William trended globally. Protests erupted in 15 cities. Polling collapsed at historic speed. Then came the final blow. Leaked internal government emails verified by independent sources showed housing policies had deliberately targeted areas with high concentrations of veterans and conservative voters. If authenticated, legal experts say the implications could include abuse of power, misconduct in public office, and electoral manipulation. Suddenly, Prince William's warning looked prophetic. As Labour spiraled, the Conservatives appeared calm, measured, and unified. Polls flipped. Betting markets shifted. Britain's political landscape cracked wide open. Now 3 crises converge at once: parliamentary investigations, a Labour leadership revolt, and a King's Christmas message rumored to carry coded warnings. The question is no longer whether Starmer survives, it's whether Labour does. Britain is watching history unfold in real time, and when voters are forced to choose between their Prime Minister and their future King, the outcome is rarely in doubt.